Let me first start by expressing my appreciation to the media for consistently highlighting events in Darfur and keeping the region on the global agenda, while ensuring the community is kept abreast of developments on UNAMID's work. This, as I said, is the first press conference I hold after the revolution that sparked off less than a year ago, and for which some brave young men and women paid the ultimate price in order for the Sudanese people to achieve their aspiration for freedom, peace, and justice. Ladies and gentlemen, only yesterday, UNAMID handed its largest camp in Darfur, located in Nyala, to officials from the government of Sudan Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The total value of assets handed over in Nyala is estimated at about $99.4 million. In this context, the UN Security Council Resolution 2495 acknowledged the commitment of the government of Sudan to use this team site and other team sites previously handed over to the government for exclusively civilian and user purposes, which are in line with the UN rules and regulation. I'm glad to inform you that yesterday's handover went without a glitch. We hope that the unfortunate incidents of wanton looting of UNAMID super camps in Al Janina on the 14th and 15th May by the local population and the government security apparatus, and more recently on the 20th June, the vandalization of offices of the international NGO World Vision International and WFP in Darfur by protesters have become incidents of the past. For us, the UN and our partners operating in Darfur, it is our sincere hope that such incidents will not recur. Ladies and gentlemen, in response to a request from the Prime Minister, Dara Hamdok, to the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, the UN Security Council has recently adopted Resolution 2495 on the 31st of October 2019, which extends UNAMID's mandate until the 31st of October 2020. It maintains the current troop ceilings of 4,050 military and 2,500 police personnel until March 2020, when the Council will review our mandate. This resolution maintains the same concept of operations for UNAMID set out in UN Security Council Resolutions 2363 and 2429, based on the two-pronged approach of peacekeeping in Jebel Mara area and peace building in the rest of Darfur through a whole-of-system approach where we work closely with the UN country team in order to avoid gaps resulting from UNAMID's eventual exit from Darfur, but also ensuring at the same time that as UNAMID is withdrawing, we impart some expertise and capacity to the government and people of Darfur. We have come up with a creative operation that we call the State Liaison Functions. We now have 4 out of the 5 Darfur states since January this year. UNAMID personnel have co-located with colleagues from other UN agencies and programs and are in the process of conducting peace-building projects jointly. The resolution determined 3 operational priorities for UNAMID. 1, to support the ongoing peace process, including mediation between the government of Sudan and Darfur armed movements. To support the National Peace Commission, as well as supporting the implementation of any peace agreement resulting from the Juba peace process, as reflected in the transitional government strategic priority to achieve a fair and comprehensive peace. 2, to support peace-building activities by strengthening the SLFs and expanding them into the Jebel Mara area of operations, thus covering all 5 Darfur states. 3, to continue with our protection of civilians, monitoring and reporting on human rights, including the rights of women and children, and facilitation of humanitarian access, as well as protecting humanitarian workers operating in Darfur. The resolution also instructs UNAMID to keep all its remaining team sites and not hand them over until further decision is made by Council, with the exception of Nyala, of course, that we handed yesterday, which is the Mission Sector South headquarters. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I would like to call upon the government and armed groups alike to work with the UN and the African Union and other international actors to support humanitarian access to all remote areas, in Darfur in particular, to ensure the timely and effective delivery of humanitarian aid. It is extremely important that as the peace process moves forward, we continue providing basic humanitarian support to the people. I would also like to assure the people of Darfur that during the rest of its tenure, the mission shall continue its stay and deliver policy and shall continue to serve the people of Darfur until the last day. Our approach of delivering our mandate shall be reflecting the UN's Action for Peace campaign, A for Peace, which was launched by the Secretary General earlier this year. I therefore seize this opportunity to call upon you to support this campaign through your traditional and digital media in the area of politics, women, peace and security, protection, safety and security, peace building and sustaining peace, partnership, conduct of peacekeepers and peacekeeping operations. Finally, I would like to once again emphasize the real opportunity that the December revolution has created for achieving a fair and comprehensive peace in Darfur and the whole of Sudan. I call on all the Sudanese political forces, particularly armed movements, who have not yet joined the peace process, to seize this historic moment and come to the negotiating table. We hope that negotiation at this juncture will provide a more level playing field for all views to be heard and for compromises to be made for the sake of people of Sudan and their aspiration for freedom, peace and justice. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to meeting you again in future. Shukran jazilan. Thank you.